Hello and welcome back, everyone. We will be continuing on our process of trying to create the scene inside Blender. We have created some things and we are going to continue on those things. So let's get right into it. We are at a process where I want to add a single emphasis tree, and I say emphasis tree because I really wanted to kind of define this image. I wanted to start from this point and spread across like this. Instead of designing one, if you have seen my tutorial on trees on spline, I did make an asset for that. I'm going to go append and I'm going to go to my Blender folder and I can just grab these two objects because I'll not need both of them. So now that we have this, I'm going to step out and focus on that for a bit. Okay, it does look good. I'm going to select them both and put it in a new collection. So as you can see, the tree still kind of works, right? But of course, we'll be updating some materials and something over here. This is the node tree for this. If you want, you can just go look at my previous tutorial, build this from the scratch, or you can just go to Gumroad and download this file. It is available for free. All right, so I think we can just go inside the node tree that we were in, which is the node base. I'm going to select both of these and I'm going to just click this. Now the tree is all the way over there. So first thing we're going to do is bring it closer. Okay, I have no idea what this is, but let's see. I think we might have a duplication of the base itself, and that is the reason this is being caused. I think if we just push down the terrain node like minus 0.01, we might be able to fix that. We can even reduce that to like 0.001. We can minimize this and that's solved. I just see another doubling up here, and that is happening because of the repeat zone. So every time you have 2 iterations, it's actually 3 iterations. I'll tell you how. You have 6 instances and 162 faces, let's say. And you have 24 instances, right? So if you add a merge by distance here, this should get solved. So I'm going to go and I'm going to just type in realize instances here, and that should fix it. There are 2 ways to get the tree inside. One is that we could just use these transforms. Second way is that we could just drag it and, bring it into the node group. So I'm going to connect this here. Now that the tree is here, let's first scale it to the size that we need. We could, of course, scale it from here, but before we do anything over here, we should go to that tree and look at it from the x-axis, right? This is a tree made on spline. How many points do we have on spline? Let's just select it. I'm going to open this up a little bit. We have all this option. We have a mapping. We have tree UVs. I'm going to just switch this off, and we see that this tree is made on only 2 splines. Let's turn on that glass as well. Okay, so this is not, of course, the correct position to add the tree anyways. I'm going to mute this so I see the full tree. Then I'm going to just remove this. Okay, select the tree, go to edit mode. GZ, bring it down to something. Just bring it out to the height of this, right, for now. Like this is enough reduction. I think now we should just introduce this into our system and then work on this, because it's a little futile to work without what we need. We of course need a little more height here. So let's go over here and let's turn on the glass to see what is happening here. Of course, it's like bleeding out over here. This is not in the correct position, so we've got to bring it to the correct position here, I believe. And just to see, we are on -x right now. So I'm going to select this and go to edit mode, select the top point here, and then go towards like a G minus angle, right? Something like... somehow our x-axis is getting affected, so we'll shift to this view then. Okay, GX is gonna actually move this. Okay, so let's select this and then twist this guy somewhat like this, right? And I'm gonna drop the number of branches. It was here somewhere. Level 1 branch quantities. So I'm gonna raise this so that the branch just kind of go away. And then it'll be better to shape this. So yeah, let's just do something like this. And then select this guy, GX, move it over here. GX again, twist this guy, something like this, and then GX. And here, I think we need the opposite here. So our focus is going to be over here, actually, not on that. I think reduce the length of the branches a bit. It's actually very nicely laid out. I think this is possibly the best scenario we can get given the size and scale of our thing. So what I'll do here is two things. I will first increase the start radius so that, you know, this is like a thicker tree because the size of it is quite humongous. Okay, I think that's, we're dealing with the level 2 branch lengths. So I think we need to go inside the node tree there. Wait. Okay, I think that is sorted then. Our tree is safely inside. We could take this entire geometry, connect it to a readout here, move this up, readout here, and then just add distribute points on faces and connect it to this guy here. So now points are everywhere, but of course we don't want them everywhere. We just want them on the top. So if we go grab a, yeah, grab a circle and just whatever faces, connect it to raycast, and we take this hit position. Now we'll only get on the top, and we need to just increase the radius till we see points everywhere, right? So what's happening is that it's only working as a selection for direct hits. That's it. We got it. So we can just pack the raycast nodes up and move them here. Now we can go for a instance on points, and the instance is, so the stem node that we've created. I'm going to show you in another window so I don't lose track of what's happening. The stem we created is basically this. These are the branches on the tree, or we could use like a plane plus this stem, right? Because somewhere there would be just planes, somewhere just leaves, somewhere there would be just sticks, and somewhere there would be just all of this, right? So let's go to layout again, select node base. The first thing we want to lay over is a grid. And of course we need like very small, so 0.01. Select both of them, 0.05 maybe. Right, that's enough. The second thing we'll need is this entire stem. So we will go geometry to, first we'll go like, yeah, we'll go geometry to instance. And we can connect both of these and go pick instance. And of course, we need to add a transform geometry to this. Change all of this to 0.05. We could just use this guy. Sorry, not this guy, sorry. Go to viewer and just do a delete, compare. go for float and X of position, right? So all we need to do is just increase this. Yeah, that's it. So we have the stem as well. We can just hide everything, and that way we'll be able to save some space here. So we can, what do we call this? Stems. Connect the output to this. Obviously, we need one more thing here, I guess, which is the translate geometry, transform geometry, and we can just change this to 0.05 as well. Now, the biggest challenge is going to be, of course, to manage rotation here. And for the grid, I'm going to add another node here, actually, set material. And I'm going to give it the leaf, PBR leaf material that we've already chosen for the trees here. Now, the next challenge is rotation, right? Of course, they won't be standing like this. I guess access to rotation might help us here. Or first, let's try to paste this. Right, that doesn't work. So try access to rotation. Plug the normal as the primary axis and the position as the secondary axis, and then just try the outputs here. So X and Y have done the job for the leaves already and the sticks. What if we add a transform here and change this to, X to 90 degrees? Then everything is sorted, I guess. Right, and we can then increase the density to just cover it up with shit, right? So now we've got everything we need, and now we need to just fix the sizes and stuff. So as for the scale, of course, since our leaves are like that on the stems, we probably need to reduce the size of our leaves further. So we'll go for 0.01, and that should just put us exactly where we want to be. Now, even though we have aligned rotation, kind of, it's still not perfect, as you can see. What if we go rotation? So now, like you can clearly see that they're aligned, right? But we need to randomize those locations around the z-axis, right? So we need to go combine XYZ. And on the Z, I'm going to connect a random value. Type in 0 to tau. This will effectively randomize them, and we can just type in whatever seed value we want. And then for the scale, connect a random value and just put it here, right? And then here we can type 0.5 to 1. And I think that should solve any issues that we can possibly face. I'm going to turn on the glass and just see if anything's coming out of it. And I don't see it, honestly. So I'm going to increase this to like 0.8 to 1.2 maybe. Now we can increase the density of these bad boys. Now, so this is done. I can wrap all this up. We can bring this here, and we can bring this guy here. Then over here we can add some bushes, and for that I have another node tree, which is this flowers node tree. So let's go to geometry nodes tab here, and I will show you this one. I'm going to turn off the trees on spline, this, and yeah, so this is the flowers node tree. Let me show you what it looks like. It's a flower generator basically. Now define what kind of shape we want, but first we want to bring this guy inside, right? So let's go back there and get the flower inside our node tree. Turn off the glass, bring this guy inside. I'm gonna actually choose these guys. Move them somewhat over here and move this guy over here. We could use the same distribute and bring it down over here. Connect this here. Of course, actually, we could just Shift D actually and bring it over here. Press Alt P to break up the group. Then we want the same mesh. Basically, we want the same selection. Basically, we want to put this in the instances and connect this here. Let's go first of all, transform geometry, change this to like 0.1, drop the density to like 5 because we just want very few of them. And as you can see, the rotation is not proper. So let's fix the rotation first. And I think that is fixed. Now we want some kind of a shape to this, right? And in order to do that, I'm going to go back to my geometry nodes here. And I'm going to just open my 3D viewport and go to the camera view. Turn on this guy along with the glass. And then we can work on this. So let's select the flower. Now, we want to lift the petals up. That is for sure. So I'm going to do this. And once we have lifted them somewhat, I'm going to bring I'm going to stretch the mid out. I'm going to drop the height of the mid to something like this, right? Yeah, something like this. Like it's starting to look like something to avoid basically walking on. Then we need to rotate the vertical iterations so that we can form like a shape like this, right? And we can go to the node base. We can turn off the flower now. So now, of course, we don't want them on the river, right? This is going to be our river. So for this one, we will actually drag the terrain actually over here. And we'll connect this to the terrain actually. So now this noise texture will guide where these people are not appearing. We don't want them everywhere, right? So I'm going to drop this to like 0.1 and then just play with the color ramp. So let's change this to 1. Yeah, so now you have like places where none of this is happening and places where some of this is happening. But of course, right now it's affecting both. And that's not the behavior we want. So I'm going to delete this join geometry and add a join geometry afterwards. This is going to be actually here. Yeah, and this can sit in the middle. Duplicate this, connect this guy, connect this guy, and connect this here. And then I'm going to add another ramp. And I'm going to reverse this basically. I'm going to connect this here. So now wherever we have a deletion of the plants, that's not the place we're going to have a deletion of the other objects. So now we can just play with this till we can probably feel good. We can drop the detail to 0. And then, yeah, I think that is good enough for now. We can pack this up like this. That is that. I think one more thing I would like to do is just change the color of the leaves that we are having. So I'm going to add the PBR leaf here as well. And as you can see, the color is actually defined by this factor. So if we drop this factor down, the leaves are actually going to turn green. And then if we add another, so if we also add the tree, we could probably fix some things here. First is that we need to work on this displacement, right? We could drop it a little bit, like 0.2 maybe, and 0.5 over here, or 0.1. Like right now in the trees on spline, we have a UV mapping here that is basically this, right? And for the seam, we connect a unsigned angle here and say greater than, add a 2 radians, then say 45 degrees. Yeah, this does help. Let's go to the leaf, and that is over here in PBR leaf. And so right now we have only changed the, and I'm gonna open both the views here. So this is like with the scene world and the scene lights. And as for the scene lights, I want to change this guy over here. Shift S already, then add a area light, get out of here, then start to move it up. I'm gonna send it to the lights and camera connection and turn off this, and yeah, delete this point light for now. Move it over here, GZ, move it here, and then just increase the size of this guy to fill the room on at least one axis or whatever. We can figure out the rest later. We can select these 3 and get back to business. So now on the area lights, just go with like 100 watts or 500 watts, right? So that's some interior lighting there. 5,000, 2,500. Yeah, okay, let's stick to 2,500 for now. Like these are not the final lights. We just want to like see when we are coloring the leaves. So if we, I'm gonna leave this as it is, and I'm gonna connect a different one over here. Yeah, I think for now, let's just go with the green. And same way we can go with the PBR leaf and just reduce this factor. So everything down there is green. Then we need to go to the tree. We need to go to the stem, and there is a stem color as well. It's a mix of green and blue, green and brown, and we can just kind of lift it up a little bit. Now for the pebbles material, let's just do a Control T to get all of this and disconnect this, add a noise texture, connect the color back there, and turn this to object. We can do mix color, and here we can just give a brownish tinge to them, drop down the, then we can go here, add a bump node, height, and connect this to this, drop the strength to like 0.2, and that is that. I think that is done. For the terrain, we're gonna go store named attribute over here, and the named attribute would be a vector. It would be UV unwrap, and let's call it terrain UV. Copy this name because you're going to need it again, and then go to here, and to see the UV, I'm going to get a attribute node. First I'm going to just press Control T, delete this and connect this to a attribute node, and paste the text that we copied, terrain UV. Now we don't see anything right now because we haven't attached a material yet. So I'm going to go set material. First I'm going to bring these. Actually we do have it, but I think it's better to attach it afterwards. And I'm going to just give it the terrain material, right? Get a thing, new image, color grid, and instead of generated type blank, I'm going to choose a color grid, and say whatever 2048 is good enough, I think. And we have this now. As you can see, there is some UV that is coming, but we don't know if it's correct. It does look correct. Okay, so maybe this is the correct UV. We will see. So now we can close all this. So the creation process for the rest of the material, for the terrain, for the castle and the other elements in the design is quite long, to be honest. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just attach screenshots that are going to be shown here on screen now, and this will include the entire node tree, and you can just take the screenshot, arrange it the same way, and you'll be able to get that material. So the first one I'm going to show you is the terrain. This is the terrain material. This is the snow material that I'm going to be using for the background. This material is used specifically for the water that I've given on the exteriors. This is the material for the wood on the windows. This is the material for marble windowsill that we've given over here. And once you've created these materials, the other smaller materials like bricks and stuff are going to be cakewalk for you. So I'm not going to share all of those node trees. However, if you want, this entire file will be uploaded at a location. I'll drop the link in the bio and you can just get the file and take the materials from there yourselves. So probably we've kind of covered a lot about this. So let's go to the background. Like initial idea could be the same castle, but like even more snow, right? So let's try that. We can close this and switch this to rendered view. So we're gonna leave this and we will go to the exterior. First things first, let's go to geometry nodes and so this is 50 by 50 meters. And as you can see, even at 50 by 50 meters, it is really, really small because we are at a incredibly wide angle. And in fact, we might go wider, like 18 or something. And if that is the case, let's say we want to go 18 and we zoom in like this. So you see, we are even covering more base. So what resolution is enough then? Like even if I go 300 by 300, it will be, it'll not be enough. And the amount of points I will need to make anything meaningful at 300 out of 300 is just mind-boggling. So let's push this back. Let's say we want this somewhere over here, right? So then even 500 by 500 will not cover it, as you can see. Let's go 35 mm, and because that's a like a focal length where you won't get too much distortion in your edges as well, and at the same time we won't be facing this. So yeah, let's then try to go tele, right? Let's just go for 100 mm, you know. I'm gonna go 100. I'm gonna go pull out on this a little bit. So now, of course, I don't need that big. I can go 200 into 200. Pull this guy back over here somewhere, right? So now we can put this here, go for a set position, connect it here, combine X, Y, Z, and we go for a noise texture here. So we'll first need a multiply, and then we'll need a subtract, and then a noise texture factor, right? Only applied to the Z. Now it's not visible right now because we don't have anything there, right? So let's give it some points and multiply this. Obviously this is like not enough points, I think. Let's say shade, smooth, apply this here so we can see. Connect this to a value node. Actually, I'm gonna convert this to a integer node. Connect this to both because it's gonna be that. 100 points. Now the noise is too much, obviously. So we can just let's reduce the detail to 0 and then the noise to like 0.1 or something like that. 0.05. Add some detail then. To avoid this going down, we can go clamp it. Not on the multiply, sorry, on the subtract. So then it won't push things downwards. We can do some selection here, which we can do a selection here which avoids pushing the end edges, the corner edges. So that would be greater than, and we can connect here a node called vertex neighbors, vertex count, and just do 3. So this will ensure that your edges are not getting pushed. Right, and this looks decent enough for now, but of course we need to improve upon this. Can change this to 0.03 and then multiply it to push them higher. We can change this to 4D and then we have the option of playing around with them till we get a perfect size. For example, like I like this one. Add more detail to it. Maybe, I guess that's probably good enough for now. I think we should dial down the detail to 3 and then we can even go 150 should suffice, I think. So fine, let's leave this there. But I think now that the node tree is going to get complicated, we should just do the materials while we can. And then add a set material here. Give it far off hills. Now we could capture the UV of all this. So let's say we go store named attribute. And we go vector, face corners, connect this to a UV unwrap, far off hills UV. Bring up the color grid and instead of the UV here, we can connect the attribute. And here we can change this to float and go for like a unsigned angle. And in the greater than, we can connect a 2 radians. So I think 85 is probably the best if we go by the UV unwrap. Now, of course, we will then go to the next part. We can just move this guy here, connect this directly here, and add a shade smooth after this. Now we can pack this up and bring this here, right? So this becomes 1. Next, we can take all 3, duplicate them, join geometry over here. So now let's connect this transform, turn it to 0, connect this back. And here what we will do is we'll add the noise we already had for this guy over here, node base. Go back to this and paste this. Delete the subdivide and connect this to this and connect this to this. So now if I just move this guy here, yeah. And we already have applied the, we need to get rid of this selection now and apply this guy over here actually. And Let's see something where we can get a hilly area with this side. Yeah, okay, something like this, I guess, right? Yeah, we can, I think we can live with this. Let's multiply this a bit, just a bit. Now then, now that that's done, I guess we can leave this here and move all of this downstairs and add a set material. I want to actually add this castle back again, right? But this time we're going to cover it with snow. To the node base, where's the castle? I think this is the entire castle node. Yeah. So I'm going to take all of this and click copy, go to my exterior and paste it somewhere over here. Then I can connect this guy over here. So we have the castle, but of course we need to work on the scale of this guy. All of this is based on a spline, right? And the spline is really small, so if we connect this, disconnect this, everything goes. Let's see. Let's increase this. Like, can we push this in a way that is proportional? Now to scale it, yeah, I mean, it's possibly gonna be fine. Maybe we can just scale it up and then push this guy down over here. Push this back to -x somewhere here, and then push it on the y this side. Right, scale it up again. Bigger, and then move it down just somewhere over here. Yeah, that's, I think, good enough for now. We can 10 and move it up again, maybe 11 or just 12, but yeah, 11 is fine, I think. And move it. Now we want to do something where this guy is just like a old relic covered with a snow pile, right? Like just buried under the snow. So either we can do it with this only, I guess. Like we got a bulge over there. Oh my god, we can get bulges here, big ones. So what did we have before? 213. I'm gonna go a value, keep it here safe, and then let's see. Yeah, like something like this, right? To suggest that this pile only got bigger over time. I mean, we'll have to see some references, but something like this maybe. Okay, so this here is where we finish bulk of our design. Only little bit of details are remaining, like adding snow to the top of the castle that we created. And I've already given the materials that I've used that you see here right now. So the next step I will be showing you is my compositor settings and how I exported it. The method that I'm using borrows from a YouTuber. You should definitely check his videos out. That sort of experience regarding the compositor is something I could show you, but I can't definitely teach you. It's better to learn from an expert. His name is Robin Squares. You can find him on YouTube. I'm going to leave the link to where he explains this method. The link is going to be in my descriptions. And then we can probably close this video It's been a really fun experience creating this. I like to kind of fiddle around with geometry nodes and try to find solutions sitting inside a node tree. And I know this has not been in a shape of a tutorial really, like I haven't explained a lot of things that happened in between. But if I tell the entire process, then probably the video would be much longer. I'm gonna leave the file, the blend file, in a link. I will leave you that as well. So you can pick it up and you will find all the materials and the meshes and everything if you want to take a look at it. So that's it for me. I'm gonna see you guys shortly in a very interesting series that I'm working on. It's gonna be a really long series, completely related to geometry nodes. And if you enjoyed this content, then please do subscribe to my channel and follow me on social media so that I can keep you updated on what's coming in the future. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Your support means a great deal. Take care, keep creating.